Love, family, betrayal, murder. Today we are diving into a shocking case that spans continents and exposes the dark underbelly of honor killings. We will delve into the sinister forces that led to the tragic demise of a young woman who married for love, only to have her happiness cut short as she was brutally murdered in a conspiracy that will stun you. Get ready to uncover the secrets, lies, and family ties that entwined her fate. Hello guys, welcome back to Crime Pod. I'm your host Safa. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell and share this video with your friends and family to help us bring you more true crime stories. During 1960s and 70s, a significant wave of Indian Sikhs migrated to Canada, seeking better opportunities and a new life. Amongst them was Jassie's family, who left their roots in Doaba region of Punjab, India, to settle in Fraser Valley of southwestern British Columbia. This mass exodus was driven by a desire for economic prosperity and a chance to escape the political turmoil of the time. Many Sikh families, including Jassie's, were attracted to the fertile lands and agriculture opportunities of the Fraser Valley, where they established themselves as farmers and entrepreneurs. Jasvinder Kaur Sidhu, affectionately known as Jassie, was born on August 4, 1975 to Bakhtor Singh and Malkeet Kaur Sidhu. Her family's new life in Canada was marked by hard work and tradition. They established a thriving blueberry farm led by Surjit Singh Batesha, Jassie's maternal uncle. Jassie's childhood in Maple Ridge was simple and traditional. She attended school, visited the temple, and spent her free time helping with household chores within the family compound. Her former high school principal in Pitt Meadows remembered her as a quiet, friendly, and diligent student. After graduating, Jassie began working at a beauty parlor in Maple Ridge. Her daily routine included being escorted to and from work by either her brother or a male cousin, reflecting the family's conservative values. In December of 1994, Jassie's life took a dramatic turn when she traveled to Punjab, India, and met Sukhwinder Singh Sidhu, affectionately known as Mittu, a charming rickshaw driver. Their chance encounter blossomed into a whirlwind romance, but their love was considered taboo due to a complex cultural tradition. As Sukhwinder hailed from Jassie's mother's village and shared the same clan, their relationship was viewed as equivalent to marrying within the family. Yet the young lovers refused to let societal norms dictate their hearts. Despite Jassie's return to Canada, they continued their long-distance relationship, fueled by their passion and determination to be together. Jassie's family had been searching for a suitable groom for their daughter, but when they couldn't find one that met their expectations in Canada, they flew to India in late 1998 to continue their search. They were determined to find a man of higher or equal status to match their family's standing. However, unbeknownst to them, Jassie had already given her heart to Sukhwinder, a man she had met during her previous visit to India. In March of 1999, Jassie took a bold step and secretly married Sukhwinder at a Gurdwara, without her family's knowledge or consent. She then returned to Canada, keeping her marriage a secret. However, the truth soon surfaced in year 2000 when a relative from India informed Malkeet Kaur about Jassie's secret marriage. Enraged, the family attempted to annul the marriage, first offering Jassie material possessions, then resorting to violence. When these tactics failed, they tricked Jassie into signing a document containing false criminal accusations against Sukhwinder. Upon discovering the truth, Jassie tried to clear Sukhwinder's name by writing a letter to Indian officials explaining that she was coerced into signing the documents. However, Indian officials said that she had to appear in person to withdraw her complaint. As Jassie wasn't ready to end things with Sukhwinder, her family's anger turned to desperation and they locked her in her room, confiscating her passport and stripping her of all her privileges, hoping to break her spirit and force her to abandon Sukhwinder. But Jassie's love and determination only grew stronger. With the help of Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Jassie bravely escaped her confinement and began to plan her reunion with Sukhwinder. She turned to a trusted friend for help, obtaining the money she needed to buy a ticket to Punjab, India. Finally, after months of separation and struggle, Jassie was reunited with Sukhwinder in Punjab. The young lovers were together again, free to build their life and future as they saw fit. But little did they know, Jesse's family would stop at nothing to keep them apart. On the fateful evening of Thursday, June 8, 2000, Sukhvinder and Jesse were ambushed while walking home to Narike after dinner. A white car laying in wait on a bridge suddenly sprang into action. Four armed men emerged, brandishing swords and sticks, and launched a vicious attack on the unsuspecting couple. In the brutal assault, Sukhvinder was left for dead, his body battered and broken. Meanwhile, Jessie was dragged away by the attackers, who took her to a remote farmhouse, where they brutally slit her throat with a sword, ending her young life. They then disposed of her body in a nearby irrigation ditch 21 miles away from Khonkikhosa. The next day, a farmer stumbled upon Jessie's lifeless body and immediately alerted the authorities. The discovery sparked a chain of events that will expose the shocking truth behind Jessie's tragic fate and led to a quest for justice. The post-mortem report revealed the devastating extent of Jessie's injuries, attributing her death to shock and hemorrhage caused by injury to vital organs. Meanwhile, Sukhvinder, who had been left for dead by their attackers, miraculously survived the brutal assault. However, his recovery was long and arduous, leaving him unconscious for weeks. When he finally regained consciousness, his family faced an agonizing decision. They chose to withhold the shattering news of Jesse's death from him, fearing that the devastating revelation would be too much for him to bear in this fragile state. Their silence was a poignant testament to the depth of Sukhvinder's love for Jessie and the unbearable pain her loss would bring. The investigation into Jessie's tragic murder led to the arrest of 11 individuals, including a police officer. However, as the police dug deeper, they uncovered a shocking revelation. The call records of the killers revealed an astonishing 200 calls to Jessie's uncle, Surjit Badesha, in Canada. The bond between a mother and daughter is one of unconditional love and trust. A mother's love is often described as selfless and unwavering, but in Jessie's case, the sacred bond was brutally shattered. Her own mother, driven by a twisted desire to protect her family's honor, had become worse than a witch. While even a witch might spare a few houses in her wrath, Jessie's mother had no such mercy. She, along with her brother Surjit Badesha, orchestrated the brutal murder of her own daughter, paying the killers 10,000 Canadian dollars to carry out the heinous crime. The very person who should have protected Jessie from harm had instead become the mastermind behind her tragic demise. In a chilling confession, one of the killers revealed that before ending Jessie's life, they had called her uncle Surjit, allowing her to plead for mercy. Jessie begged for her life, promising to obey any command, but her cries fell on deaf ears. The phone was handed over to her mother Malkeet, who showed no hesitation or compassion. With a heart of stone, she ordered the killer to carry out the brutal murder, condemning her own daughter to a tragic fate. When confronted with this damning evidence, Surjit and Malkeet attempted to shift the blame onto Sukhvinder, denying any involvement in Jessie's murder. However, the proof against them was overwhelming, exposing the horrific truth that they had orchestrated the killing of their own flesh and blood in the name of honor. The Indian police promptly requested the extradition of Surjit Badesha and Malkeet Kaur, but the process was hindered by Canada's complex extradition laws and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police parallel investigation. Despite the delays, justice slowly moved forward. In 2012, after a painstaking and thorough investigation spanning years, the RCMP finally arrested Surjit and Malkeet. However, it would take them an extra 7 years to be extradited to India, where they were to face a trial for their heinous crime. By then, nearly 2 decades had passed since Jessie's tragic murder, which occurred in year 2000. Despite the extradition of Surjit Badesha and Malkeet Kaur, justice for Jessie remains an elusive dream. In a disappointing turn of events, 7 of the 11 individuals arrested for her murder have been acquitted by Indian courts, including Darshan Singh Badesha, Jessie's uncle, and the key link between her family in Canada and the hitman in India. Darshan's acquittal has significantly weakened the case against Malkeet and Surjit, leaving only circumstantial evidence to build a case against them. As of March of 2022, both Surjeet and Malkeet have secured regular bails from Indian courts, allowing them to walk free as their trial continues at a glacial pace. The tragic case of Jaswinder Kaur Sidhu sparked widespread media attention and inspired various documentaries, a made-for-TV movie and a dedicated website, Justice for Jassi, all advocating for justice in her name. Sukhvinder was wrongly convicted of rape in 2004 and sentenced to 4 years in prison. Later, the allegations were disproven and he was acquitted. The accuser's connection to Jassi's family raised suspicions of a deliberate attempt to tarnish Sukhvinder's reputation. In a heartfelt tribute, Jassi's former high school in Pitt Meadows established a scholarship in her memory. Remembering his former student, Principal Jim Longridge reflected, "We can't bring her back, but it would be nice for people to know who Jassi was, ensuring her legacy lives on and her story continues to inspire justice and awareness." That's all about the case of Jaswinder Kaur Sidhu. I hope you liked the case study with me, and if you do, don't forget to like this video, comment down if you have any suggestion, subscribe this channel if you haven't subscribed, and ring the notification bell so you're never gonna miss any of my future uploads. Stay tuned for my next video. Until then, goodbye.